Hi, my name is Tabitha Booth, and I would like to share with you a recent experience I had with Justira at Affodilus Gardens.
So what was your day-to-day life before you received the fascia release?
My day-to-day life before the fascia release was pretty high-strung, actually. I am somebody who puts a lot of pressure on myself. I'm a creative entrepreneur, and so there's always pressure, and it spills over into tension in my body, and I was really starting to have a lot of back pain and muscle pain in general. And I knew that I needed to do something about it in addition to my yoga practice. In addition to back pain, I also sustained a work-related injury in my right hand and wrist. It's been going on for 8 years, and with the kind of work that I do in production shops and also performing music with guitar, it's the kind of injury that is pretty critical in inhibiting being able to do any of these things. So it's been a growing concern that I needed to do something to alleviate the pain, not only in general but also in that area, so that I could keep doing what I do.
If someone were to observe you before you received the treatment, how would they describe you?
If someone were to observe me before the fascia release treatment, I would say they would notice a lot of tension, anxiety, while a lot of it is stemming from physical pains. Some of those physical pains are emotional pains, and I think the tension and anxiety, just the way I would hold my body and the way I would talk really fast. A lot of tension and anxiety, I think, was pretty observable before the fascia release, which just brought so much relaxation and just literally a release of stress and tension from the muscles. Kind of amazing.
What were the things that you were most concerned about before laying down on my table?
So I've attempted to get other forms of alternative treatments for my work injury, and also tension and stress in general. I guess you could say I have an attachment to a demanding life because it gives me a sense of purpose. But on the flip side, when stress and tension and breathing and self-care is neglected, then I find myself carrying a lot of physical strain. So one of the things that I was worried about before the fascia release session is whether or not it would work, but also about if I was willing to accept it as something that would be beneficial to the symptoms that I experience from being attached to a demanding life. Even though it brings me a sense of purpose, I also clearly notice some of the negative impacts from it, such as body stress, mental stress, and I didn't want to find myself being somebody who would be resistant to receiving help around the symptoms I have been experiencing around that.
What made you realize that you could trust me to do this work for you?
How I realized that I could trust Justira with fascia release work, body work. I met Justira at Womb Spa Florida Vita in Verona, New Jersey, which is a truly amazing place and service for women, a women's wellness center. And I had the privilege of performing music and doing some set design work for special events there. And because of that, I got to know Justira as a professional in fascia release work, herbs, and other kinds of services that help us. And so I knew that she is Justira is articulate, thorough, and fully present, not looking for anything other than the service she is providing for you as the client, for me as the client. And that's important because sometimes there are people who cross lines. And with this kind of stuff, it's extremely vulnerable, and so it's really important that you're working with somebody who simply doesn't do that and has no reason to do that. They're not filling any void to prove anything to you other than providing what you need, and that's the whole point. For example, I had booked a massage many years ago for this work injury, and it was not a great experience, and some of you out there may relate to putting your trust into a professional who has ulterior motives. And when you're vulnerable like that, in a situation like that, it can be pretty jarring, if not straight up traumatic. And so to feel safe with a practitioner to do body work and fascia release work is totally paramount, right? Like you want to release something, you want to maybe work on improving an injury, and the last thing you need to be thinking about is worrying about, am I safe with this person? Are they truly professional? Knowing that textbook information is not the same thing as creating a safe space for you to relax into and know you're getting the treatment that you need. I feel fully confident that I received the results for improving my injury, which after one session I was like 90% reduction in my wrist and thumb area for like 2 months. Incredible. Like it felt like the injury was never there. So as a chronic injury, of course, that means continuing sessions, but I have to say I was truly amazed at how long the results lasted from the fascia release. It was like I wanted to cry. Anybody out there who's got chronic injuries knows that you learn to live with the pain, and it can be distracting. You might not be as bright in life as you want to be or imagine yourself to be. So I encourage anybody and everybody to book a session with Justira and see the results for yourself, feel them, feel the results, and create a treatment plan with her for these kinds of things. You'll be glad that you did.
So now that you have had a fascia release treatment, how does your life look like now?
So now that I've had the fascia release treatment, so many things have opened up. Not only did the fascia release treatment literally release an enormous amount of stress and tension from my body, but simultaneously it gave me a renewed sense of energy to go after some goals that I've had for a long time that have been fallen to the wayside or just really slow to accomplish or make progress on. And that tends to happen when you're dealing with a lot of chronic pain too. You just get tired. It requires more of you just to live. So, but being the creative and ambitious person that I am, I don't want to be held back by stuff like that. So doing the fascia release treatment was an absolutely amazing decision, and the results from it are equally amazing. And since then, I've been able to get back on my vision board planning, follow-up phone calls about various projects that I've had in motion, and checkpoints on various projects, cleaning up old files, like a lot of basic day-to-day tasks that I just didn't have energy before, that I became more motivated to complete and check off my list and make room for bigger things or more significant things that I want to do to define life and how I live it, and how we all have that divine right. a calling. So if you are feeling distant from your calling, maybe fascia release might be a way to reconnect with that. That's definitely something that's been happening for me, including writing a rock opera. Woohoo!
That's awesome.
Stay tuned.
Thank you again for
Totally.
even trusting me
My pleasure.
to do this work, especially because, again, your history that you've had with other people. So yeah,
Cool.
just again, thank you for trusting me to do this work. And
Totally.
it really means a lot to me to have that responsibility to begin with.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you too.